This episode of Outdoor Journal Radio is brought to you in part by the Invasive Species Centre, protecting Canada's land and water from invasive species. Freedom Cruise Canada, rent the boat, own the memories. JMB Cycle and Marine, your home for all things power sports, boats, and equipment. And Silver Wax, absolute care for everything you drive. There.
You like that better, didn't you, hey? You like that better, don't you? I know exactly what you were thinking. I was looking at you, waiting for a reaction. You don't know what we're talking about, but we know.
Welcome to the program, Outdoor Journal Radio, the podcast. I'm Angelo Boyle. He is Peter Bowman. We are minus some cast members today, although Dean Taylor is there.
Our main man.
My main man,
Dean Taylor.
Before we get on to the show, and by the way, this is a great show. I'm just dying to get going.
Wow,
but before we do that,
you sound excited.
Before we do that, this is exciting. Just came across my desk.
Yeah.
The Outdoor Journal, your podcast, has been nominated for an award from the Canadian Podcast Awards. Wow. And it's for the Outstanding Sports Series category. Are we a sports podcast?
Sport fishing.
They do put us in that category. Yeah.
Oh.
I thought we were in the wilderness category, but the header category is sports. We're in sports wilderness.
So these other nominees could be sports football, sports something else. Is that what you're saying?
We're up against sports hockey in a big way.
Yeah.
The last time we were up for an award, we finished second place to a cycling podcast.
It's kind of weird.
So they kind of recycled us, obviously. We were done. Thank you, Dean.
Yeah. This time we're up against it for sure. But anyways, there's always hope.
Hey.
And no, you, the listener, unfortunately, the viewer, cannot make a difference. Otherwise, we'd be begging you right now, buying your votes. But we can't do that because the voting is not for the public. It's for people in the industry.
Well, maybe we have some other podcasters out there listening.
Hey.
So anybody involved in the podcast business, or can it be broadcast business, or can it be?
You have to be podcast related. So if you have, I don't know if you've been you have to be involved in some sort of podcast production and prove that you've been involved. So employed by a company that makes podcasts, or you do music for podcasts, or something like that.
And then they have to become a member of something, right, to be able to vote?
Yeah, you have to become a member of the Canadian Podcast Awards.
I mean, if we're going to cheat, let's go all out. If you have a relative.
Speaking of cheating, this show is going to be full of cheating.
We're going to talk about that later on. If you have a relative who knows somebody that works in the industry, or you know what I mean, just to reach out to them,
There's a lot of podcasters out there.
Hey, give my buddies at ODJ a little bit of love.
Our competition, by the way, is Around the CFL podcast, Community Trail Running, Down the Stretch, Leafs Talk.
That's the bad one.
And then our Outdoor Journal Radio.
That's the one I'm worried about.
That Leafs Talk, have you heard it? Have you listened to it?
Yeah. It's big.
Pretty big. We're not going to be able to take them down, are we?
Well, the thing is, it's Sports Nuts, Rogers, right? Everybody works in podcasts there.
So they got a lot of votes just internally, right there.
Well, think about it.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah. The guy that listens to the guy that's listening to the audio guy.
Right.
He's a member.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's going to be a tough one.
Anyways, just being on that list with all of those wonderful products is a thrill.
Wow.
There you go. Today's topic, we're going to be joined by a guy who stiffed us, yeah? See how magnanimous we are here at the Outdoor Journal Radio Podcast? Magnanimous. You like that?
I don't know. I can't even spell that.
Okay.
I don't even know what it means.
Just stick with me. I'll bring you to the promised
Thank you, sir.
Because this guy stiffed us a while back.
I was reminded about this after I booked.
Yeah, we came on ready to go. We had makeup, we did the whole thing, and he didn't show up. So I'm going to remind him about that.
That's something about our personality or something, but that he, because we aren't really the most approachable people in the world either.
Yeah, that's right. All right.
So
his name is Andy Pallotta, not Palotto.
Pallotta.
like everybody calls him. Hey, Pallotta!
Pallotta, right? Pallotta?
Pallotta.
Yeah,
if
Pallotta.
you really want to get the accent, Pallotta.
Pallotta.
Yeah. Andrew Pallotta, owner of the Competitive Sport Fishing League for 25 years, president of Canadian Outdoor Sports Shows, Inc. He has so many brands that he owns.
Yeah, he's the busiest man in the industry, in the Canadian industry.
He loves
for sure.
brands.
Yeah.
He's fixated with brands.
Brand man.
But we're going to talk to him about a couple of things. The most important thing we want to talk, first of all, there was a question that was asked by one of our audience members about the tournament scene in Canada in general and how it was doing. The perception is that it's on the decline. Well, nobody better to answer that question than Andy.
He's the only guy that can answer that
He's
question.
the only guy. That's
really
right. He's the only guy who can give us a straight answer on that. But first, I want to remind you folks of fishingcanada.com or specifically shop.
Speaking of brands, right? Speaking of brands.
Exactly.
I'm going to show some brand.
Shop.fishingcanada.com is there waiting for you to bestow upon a loved one a garment that will far surpass anything else that you could possibly give them this Christmas if they are into what we're into.
So that would be a boat? If somebody was to wake up in the morning with a boat in their driveway, a beautiful Prince craft with a 9.9 Merc on it?
It's superficial compared to this.
You need to wear that to go out the driveway to see that.
Nothing says I love you like one of these wonderful hoodies. I'm telling you right now, nothing. The only thing I ask you to do, if it is a Christmas gift that you're looking for, that I would suggest that you go on the site here in the next couple of days and get your order in to ensure that everything will be cool for a wonderful Christmas unveiling under the tree.
Are the orders rolling in? Do you know?
They are. That's the problem, right?
Yeah.
That's the problem. And it's like, it's even me. I'm the same. I just
everybody.
ordered something.
We're all the same.
I got to tell you something. I just ordered something 2 days ago that I screwed up on last year ordering.
Somebody might be able to hear you.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
And just 2 days ago, I said, "Oh my God, I'm gonna," and I went, I ordered it, and it's probably not going to be on time.
I haven't even considered ordering stuff yet. That's early.
See, I did a little bit of the opposite. I've already looked into a gift right now for a loved one, and you have to get a quote on it for this gift, and I'm waiting. I got to email them back.
Don't spend that much money on me, okay?
And I got to get a hold of these people because they're not getting a hold of me right now. And I say, what's going on? Because I got to get this thing before Christmas. Now, maybe they're just waiting until the last minute and they say, he's not going to be able to spend that money anywhere else. Now he's screwed. I don't know. I thought about that too. I thought, geez, you bastards, you got me. But I hear you, though. I'm kind of the opposite, but I hear you on that one.
Anyways, Fishing Canada, the store, shop.fishingcanada.com, or go the front door that I use all the time, and that is fishingcanada.com, because that's the gateway, the portal to your Christmas shopping adventures. How's that?
And then you go out the back door. You go in the front door and then just go out the back door.
Dean is leaning into something there. I'm wondering what the hell he's doing.
I'm about to change the picture behind you.
All
tee it up.
Then do so right now, my friend, because it's time for listener feedback. Feedback. This week this is a wonderful moniker. Chris, the worst fisherman via YouTube.
Chris, you're an honest man. That is awesome.
Oh, I see. You just wanted to get a picture of you up there, Dean.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Look he's matching the goby. Dean's mouthing the gobies.
I see what he's doing. And I'm saying, what the hell am I doing here?
Why am I with these two gobies?
What am I doing here? Chris, the worst fisherman via YouTube.
That's great. You're right. That's so good.
That's the best.
I love it.
In response to our round goby episode, he says, very interesting. You seem pro goby, and I can understand why. However, I didn't hear anyone talk about gobies carrying, here we go, the botulism type E.
I didn't know this.
Does anybody here?
I had never heard of that.
Never.
All right. The botulism type E, or that gobies carry it?
That gobies carry it.
All right. Which has been linked to killing birds and fish that consume the goby in the Great Lakes. I would really like to hear some more information if this is affecting trout, walleye, bass, and any other game fish. And so he should want more information. So before we screw it up royally, I would like to tell you, Chris the Worst Fisherman, via YouTube, that
Poor
we
Chris.
are going to turn this over to our fish doc, Dr. Stephen Cook. He will, on a very, very near future, we'll have him on the show, right, Dean?
That's right. I'll
To talk about this?
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's
Because anything we tell you right now will just be a waste of time.
as far as that
because
botulism stuff, I mean, and he's saying it sounds like we're pro Goby. We're not really pro Goby. We're just they're here now. So is there a positive side to it? Maybe, you know what I mean. We would never let them in the lake system if we had a choice. That's for sure.
they were an invasive species,
Yeah.
and at the time that they were brought in, it was like bad news.
Doom and gloom, for sure.
They came on the heels of the zebra mussel, if I remember correctly. So
Yep.
it was like,
Yeah.
oh, we just got over the zebra mussel. Now we got the gobies. Oh my God, what's going to happen? The world's going to happen. And, you know. And,
It's interesting that the gobies actually eat zebra mussels. They actually go after the young zebra mussels,
Do
rip them
they?
open. Yeah, gobies
That's-
eat them. Yeah.
Wow, maybe
So-
that's why they came. They followed them here,
Yeah, could be. Who
following
knows?
food. But anyways, that's the best we
No,
could do.
if botulism was to kill a cormorant or two, then it may
That
not be a
wouldn't hurt
bad
anybody.
little situation going on
See,
there.
you can't say that.
I
because
can.
There's folks
It's
out
not.
there.
It's not Outdoor Journal saying it. It's
See,
Pete
there's
Bowman
folks
saying
out
it.
there. Well, so what? You represent me, and I represent you,
I
and you
just
can't be
represent-
saying
I'm gonna
shit
get
like
a
that.
new shirt called "Killed the Cormorant." It's
Speaking
gonna be-
of invasive species, time for a little grass carp session, isn't it, Dean? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah,
next?
it's that time of
Right?
day.
Is it
By the
right
way,
there?
our grass carp podcast is doing real
Blowing
well,
up.
real well. The one we just put out. So anybody, just in case you're going on YouTube and you want to see, hear about more about grass carp and all
we
that.
did a whole thing on it.
We did a nice little
Was it
thing
good?
on
Was it a good show?
You were great on it.
Was I good?
Yeah, I wasn't
Was it-
so good.
you weren't
Yeah,
so
the
good?
guest was great. She was a
I
biologist.
remember.
Yeah, and Dean was
DFO
pretty
girl.
good. Yeah, Dean was pretty good too in it, but I sucked.
So it's doing well.
Yeah.
So what's encouraging, because obviously people want to know.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So then, for this conservation corner brought to you by the Invasive Species Center, what I'm going to do, first of all, I'll tell you that's the critter that we are trying to keep
We're trying to be the critter getter. Trying to get 'em.
at bay. But rather than do the whole spiel, why don't we just tell you all to go visit which episode is that?
Mr. Dean.
It was.
It's not very long ago. A couple.
No, it was 3 episodes ago, so it should be 194.
Wow. How do you know
Episode 194, where we devote the entire episode to the grass carp.
this? Lots of good information in
Yeah.
there.
Department of Fisheries and Oceans were
Yes,
there with us.
that's
I mean,
correct.
it was just
It was awesome. It was
a
awesome.
potpourri of
Yeah.
grass carp.
And we learned a
information.
lot.
We did
Did
learn a
we
lot.
ever?
Yeah.
Can't remember it now, but we did learn a lot at the time.
At the time,
Yeah, exactly.
we got to write this stuff down. Eh?
I tried to write stuff on
I
my phone,
know,
but then
and it
I
doesn't-
get
then
a
you
message
forget
from
you
the
put it
wife,
on
and
there.
then she's I got to pick up eggs, and I'm screwed.
Oh yeah, as soon as anyways, Conservation Corner brought to you by the Invasive Species Center.
What's the website? Invasivecarp.ca, correct?
That is correct.
There we go.
Anything you need to know about the grass carp is available there. Please go check it out.
Check it. Booyah.
Now, this is what this got me excited about this episode. Aside from Andy, our good friend, Mr. Pallotta, coming on to the show,
a good one.
was the news brought to you by J&B Cycle and Marine. By the way, in case you were wondering,
Yes, sir.
that's probably why we have that up there right now.
Yeah. I love their logo, too, by the way. I
J&B
love their
Marine.
logo.
Oh, that's just wonderful.
Perfect. You see it live at their store, by the way. Gigantic.
Huge. Eh?
Great big job.
Well, that's what they can do that because they are the largest Mercury Princecraft dealer on the planet.
Speaking of big,
And
that's
you
it.
can't get any bigger than that.
That's it.
Let's be honest about it. You can aspire to, maybe.
Nah, you can't. Well,
but they've
you
done
can't
it.
be bigger than that.
But they've done it.
Unless somebody tries to overtake them, then they got to be bigger than the other person. But
Anything in terms of packaged boats and trailers and like you name pontoon boats, like whatever you can imagine, they can deliver in terms of packaging.
boy, they got them. They got
They
inventory.
got them good.
Woo-hoo, man. And then some.
Just add water and have fun is what Rob says to his customers. Just all you do is just add the water. We do the rest. If you want to check them out online,
Love it.
jbcycle.com is where you need to go. jbcycle.com. All right. A little drum roll for the story.
Great news story. Great news story.
I think it deserves it. In the news,
Oof.
fake kayak, real cheater. Angler busted in online fishing tournament scam. And we've done a few
What's
of these before.
What's a fake kayak, you're saying, right?
Well, tell us what a fake
kayak is. Well, we could get into the story. We'll start here. An angler named Jacob Hausman from Pennsylvania entered a month-long online fishing tournament run by the New York Kayak Bass Fishing Club that required participants to fish from a kayak. So
there's a lot of online tournaments now, right?
I think so. I mean,
Angler's
a lot of
leaderboard sponsored of the show.
That's right.
That's right.
They run.
And I don't know. I mean, most kayak tournaments that I know of, that I've seen online, a little bits and bites of, they're all catch, take a picture, and release the fish right there. So there's somehow
nice.
an online presence. Yeah, it's great for the fish, right? Yeah. They don't have live wells in these things, or if they do, is maybe a one fish live well at most. You know what I mean? So they're trying to get total length of all the fish they catch in a day. There's, they add it all.
The only thing that they require is that you fish out of a kayak.
Correct.
Obviously, it's a kayak tournament.
Absolutely.
A kayak event.
Makes sense, right?
You don't say you have to fish out of an airplane.
That's right.
You have to fish out of a kayak.
Yeah.
So it's pretty simple. You take a picture out of a kayak, send it in, and then they just add up all the beans.
Up, and the winner is the winner, and everybody else next time.
The big dollars for these things?
I don't think there's a big dollars. This particular event was only like $200 first prize, so that's
it.
like very low dollars, right? I don't know what the entry was, but I think it was $200 total. But the buddies are there. Well, we have a nice picture behind us for those that have video.
So Jacob Hausman, one of the participants of said event, submitted a photo of his fish catches and claimed that they were caught from a kayak. Well, lo and behold, tournament officials discovered that Hausman had actually used a small aluminum bass boat. It doesn't look that small, by the way.
It's a 17-footer, 17-footer.
Bass boat, and mounted a cutout section of a kayak on the back deck to stage photos, making it look like he was fishing from a kayak when he really wasn't.
Like that right there. I mean,
Now, you got to admit, that's ingenious.
It's ingenious as far as cheating goes.
I would have never thought of that.
No.
You know?
No, that's it.
Tournament director.
We haven't seen any pictures. I want to see pictures like this, like, see if the green is in there. Or if I don't know, like, does he have Photoshop out there and green screens it out and then maybe makes a full kayak behind him? Who knows what he's doing with that?
That
you know
is
what
hilarious.
I mean? Like that is wrong.
Tournament director John Tamaro and other tournament officials investigated and confirmed the evidence of cheating. Mr. Hausman later admitted to cheating and refunded his winnings, which totaled $200. Now, he obviously destroyed an entire kayak in order to.
Did he though? Well,
yeah, it's missing.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe he got that made somehow. It's just a piece of plastic.
Oh.
That could be a real seat from a kayak, but the rest of this plastic shit, he might have made it. Maybe he's a handy dude. Spends that $200 on a new piece of plastic next week. He also took pictures from other places and then posted these pictures to say they were in this tournament too. He's done that before.
Yeah, that's actually how he got caught.
Yeah.
Because I think he posted on social media him in a boat holding up a smallmouth. And then somebody checked the tournament, and there was a picture of it in the kayak, like the exact same fish.
You could see the markings. Dean and I looked it up. The markings on the
distinct.
It was the exact same fish. He used it, he put it on a measuring board for his kayak, so probably knowing full well, hey, I'll just get a crop version, and pre-cheating, maybe. You know what I mean? It could have been a week before,
and these guys can
before.
never help themselves putting it on social media.
Oh,
they always post.
They got to do it. He's got to be the hero, right?
Yeah, always.
So how do they ensure? I mean, this guy is an idiot, Jacob Hausman. He's a buffoon, obviously.
Yeah.
But you make a good point.
I know your question is, how do they know where it's caught? There's metadata on a picture. So you should be, probably the rule is you have to show the metadata. You're sending the picture, and you scroll down. Yes, at 2 p.m. today, that photo was taken. You know what I mean? So they can use it. They can use that to somewhat prove.
So there is
probably
some
a way around
of,
it. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. On every picture you take in your phone, unless you turn it off, there's metadata on that picture. So, and then as well, this dumbass. So he got complained about fishing near a fish ladder. I don't know if this is the same tournament or not, derby or not, but it was a derby. He was fishing near a fish ladder in a fish sanctuary, so nobody can fish this shit. He got busted the first day, and they said, "Hey, you can't do that, buddy." Oh, okay. And he went back the second day and did it again. He got caught again. Like, this guy is one dumb effer. There's no doubt about it. And he just loves to cheat.
He was gracious enough to return the $200. So let's be honest about it.
Good guy.
You know?
What an asshole. Oh, God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where is this information or available? Can somebody?
We've got all the details on our website.
Oh.
And then
fishingcanada.com.
there's
But
lots
there's a
of YouTube
video
videos.
breakdown.
Yeah, lots.
Because the one guy did like a whole like investigative report on the guy.
Yeah.
And apparently it all started just because he pissed somebody off in a tournament one time. And this was kind of like payback because they knew he would cheat again. So they went after him. And were like, because I don't know how they got the footage of him launching the boat. We have a picture on the screen right now.
That picture.
And it's like security cam from a boat launch.
Yeah,
and they caught
that's
him.
what they dug into that and
Yeah.
found just a picture.
Oh, when they found that picture, they must have just said,
loved it.
yes.
I think we got something for you, boys. Yeah.
Oh my God!
We're laughing.
There you go.
It's not funny. The ultimate is it's not funny.
It'll be interesting to see how Andy deals with that if he doesn't
Oh my
already know
God!
about it.
Imagine the amount of cheating incidents or talks that he has to have with people, and the running all these tournaments and events that he has. It's got to be a constant subject for him.
Andy, I mean, he. Well, we'll talk about it in a minute, but
Yeah.
he really puts his faith in his fellow anglers.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He seems like a very trustworthy guy.
Sometimes
to a fault.
To a fault. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Anyways.
no matter who you trust, there's always somebody in there that can. We know somebody. We probably know somebody in our circle that has cheated and done something wrong that we think, holy shit, really? That guy did that?
We know somebody for sure just recently. But anyways, that's all available on fishingcanada.com.
Yes, sir.
Sure is.
fishingcanada.com. The gateway, the portal to your next fishing
Do you throw
adventure.
links, Dean, in for those other YouTube? Do you ever throw them in for?
Yeah. I'll
We should.
probably put the YouTube video right in the article.
Yeah, exactly. Give those guys a shout because that's where we get the info from. So.
Yep.
Fan question of the week, Mr. Bowman, brought to you by the good folks at fishfindermounts.com.
Fishfindermounts.com. Let's make a good little jingle.
little jingle.
Yeah. I think we could write one up, couldn't we? Your guitars and my great vocals.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Corey Thompson on 2508 via YouTube. No gifts anymore. We cut out all the freebies.
No,
This is a
in
question on
qualification.
YouTube.
Yeah, this.
So unless
this
you
is
guys
eligible.
are calling
This
it.
is
No, but
eligible.
didn't last week you said that was it?
That guy was from email. That guy emailed.
Oh, so it's the,
This is the call from above. This is the call that you have to make to say, no more, that is it, you are done. Otherwise, when they're eligible, we have to kind of make them into the pot there.
Let's check it out. Corey
Check it.
Thompson, 2508 via YouTube.
Corey's question.
Yes.
Hi, guys. Can you think of a time when you were young, when you fell in love with fishing? Woo, simple question. Hopefully a simple answer.
It is a simple question. Is it worthy, though? Is it a type of question? Is it...
Oh, I see where you're going here first.
Yeah.
I see. You're not even thinking about the question right now.
No,
You're thinking about
I'm
having to
just
save yourself
saying,
50 bucks.
Because there's got to... Well, no.
I
mean,
I
it's-
don't blame you, buddy.
it's
That's not worth 50
that.
bucks.
I mean,
you know?
you want to have them put some time and effort into it.
He
don't
wants
you
to
think?
know your history. He wants to know that young Angelo there,
Well, first of all,
young Sheldon.
yeah. We have to decide now, don't we, or do you want to wait?
No, you
till-
can decide at the end.
All right.
Okay, yeah, that's good. This,
I have a picture
So
behind you that might spark some.
Oh,
memories.
my goodness.
Apparently, Angelo's in there somewhere.
there's three. Who's that other? Do you guys have another brother
That's
that you
my
didn't tell me
cousin.
about?
That's my cousin Valente,
Okay.
and that's
I'm
big
assuming there's
brother Reno.
Damiano?
That's Dad, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's me. That's at up in Bewdley, Ontario, the bottom end
What
of
are you
Rice
doing?
Lake.
You're doing something nefarious there. You building a kayak piece or something there going on
probably.
there? Something going on down there. That's a great shot. Oh my God.
Yeah, we used to go there every Sunday, fish off the docks. It was great.
Wow.
But so even trying to think back to that era
Yes.
is difficult.
Oh my God. If you can remember
so,
that.
So
You're
to
a good
ask
man.
a question, when you fell in love with fishing, I just don't know that I like the question. It's a cheap question, I think, personally.
Well, unless it was different people than you and I, that somebody that actually had
That you
their
can
turning
actually
point.
remember.
There's this, oh my God, I was 17 years old and I didn't give a shit about fishing or anything like that. And then all of a sudden I went out with Cousin Billy there and this is a whole, that might be a good question for that. Because honestly, I do not, there's no defining point for me.
I don't either.
I grew up, my dad fished, my grandpa fished, so it was in my life as from day one. And I'm assuming with pictures that I've seen with, as a little wee kid holding up fish and all that I just carried on right from as soon as I could cast. So I think there was a...
He's looking a little pissed off, isn't he?
Right now
I'm probably doing something wrong.
I guarantee you, he's throw it back, Angelo. It's out of season. Stop this right now.
Yeah, we used to go up every Sunday morning. We'd get into 52 Chevy, and we'd make our way up to Butley.
No, okay. So that's off of Butley Dock somewhere.
Yeah,
that's shooting down the lake.
This is the very.
Oh yeah, there's the islands down there.
Where's the what's the tackle shop down here?
Oh, I
Very
can't
well known.
remember. I can't
You know
remember
the one
name
I'm
of it.
talking about.
Yeah, in the middle, right, pretty much in the center of where the road is, right there.
Yeah.
By the liquor store and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, they weren't there, but there was
Yeah.
a little bait back here behind
Okay.
us.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a bait tank in the ground made out of aluminum with a big screen door, a
No way.
full-size screen door
For minnows.
as the lid. And that was the minnows. And you helped yourself. And then you told them how many you took when you left for the day.
That's right there. Your dad's giving you shit because you're counting
and
extras.
he's saying, "Holy crap! How much you taking out of there?" That's my dad, Dom, by the way. God bless him.
I'll tell you
He
what.
used
At that age, people listening, you would not want to piss that guy. The look at his face. If he did that to you at that age, I can only imagine because I knew him in his 60s, 70s, and whatever he would live to, and he was a beast at then even.
Yeah. But he used to, for whatever reason, it was unknown to him, because we talked about it later in life. He made a point every Sunday to get us in the car. Sometimes we'd bring friends, or in this case, a cousin, and he'd bring us up to this place, and him and Mom would just sit in the car most of the day. I'm surprised we got a shot of him out there in the dock. And they just let us had it. Running around, we'd be like idiots screaming and yelling.
You'd be having a blast, though. You'd be having the time
It
of
was
your
great.
life.
It was fantastic. Right? And that was my introduction to fishing, was through that. And he didn't know why, but he knew it was important that one day a week.
Do you think, well, you'd know, was he a fisherman in Italy?
No.
Not at all.
Never fished before in his life.
Wow. Cool.
Never fished before in his life.
So somebody here influenced your dad to the fishing thing, and they told him about it.
Yeah.
Right? Great family thing. Take the kids to Butley, whatever.
Yeah. And it kind of stuck with him.
Yeah, and he tried it.
He didn't know why, but it was important. And he'd literally sit in the car all day long, most of the part. And of course, there's no air conditioning in cars.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And they just sit there all day, watching us have fun, which is a great. When you think about that. Maybe different era, maybe whatever you want to call it, but the commitment and dedication that people had to their family back then was just beyond words.
Yep.
Who today, think about that, who today would sit there in a car for 5-6 hours?
They'd be on their phones. The whole
Well,
mom
they'd
and
be on
dad
their
be on their
phones.
phones, and the kid falls off the dock.
Exactly.
And oh my God.
Yeah, you're right.
Billy's
Good
in
point.
there.
No phone, no internet.
Yeah,
So
for sure they'd be on their phones.
I don't even think we had a radio in the old 52 Chevy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So, anyways, no.
Oh.
That's our first no ever.
No.
Corey.
That's our
Sorry,
first no.
Corey.
Sorry, Corey. That's
Sorry,
the song.
Corey, but I just it's just not the type of
Maybe
question.
now, Corey, just keep that in mind, and then you can resubmit another 6 months or something like that, and via YouTube. And then if you had a nice question, and you can really work on Uncle Angelo there to get that.
Well, not
$50.
only you couldn't answer it either. It's not a question you can answer. We have to have the opportunity, a question that affords us the opportunity to actually give you an answer. Like, what's your favorite species? As dumb as that is, at least we can give you that answer.
It's not dumb, so because somebody might have already said that. I think they already did.
We get so many of those.
It's not dumb. It's just not as complex as we need it.
Yeah.
I mean, we could lie to you and then give them the $50. Lie and give away money. I don't like
It's like
that
cheating.
formula.
It's like kayak cheating.
Yeah, I don't like that
Not
formula.
good. You're not good. That's not good.
But neither one of us have an answer for it, so it's got to be a no. First one, eh?
The first one, the very first.
All right. Wow. This episode is brought to you by Sail. Sail is proudly Canadian and stocked with over 100 Canadian brands you know and love.
From rods and reels to sonars to kayaks and every last lure you've seen on the Fishing Canada show, Sail has all the gear to get you on the water.
Drop into one of 12 stores across Ontario and Quebec and talk to the real fishing specialists, or gear up online anytime at sail.ca.
Sail, the ultimate destination for your outdoor adventures.
Hey anglers, want to turn your next catch into a competition? Well, check out Anglers Leaderboard, the new fishing platform that lets you track your catches, join friendly competitions, enter tournaments, and see how you rank against others in your region. Use your phone and the photo measure board to automatically detect length and species. No more guesswork. Whether you're fishing for pleasure or to compete, ALB makes every catch count. What's your ALB score? Well, get Anglers Leaderboard today and start climbing the ranks. Visit anglersleaderboard.com to learn more. All right, let's bring in the main player in today's episode. Before we do that, just want to let you know this segment is brought to you by Silver Wax. If you've got a cleaning job, and I don't care if it's your car, your boat, your motorcycle, your wife.
Oh!
Wives are good. They would work.
I might have to get the extra large of that to get her cleaned up.
You had to go the extra mile, right?
Well, you started.
I'm trying to slide
it
in there, but you had to go the extra mile. Silver Wax will do the job for you and make it easy. They've been around since 1999, and yes, proudly Canadian.
Hell yeah!
I'm thrilled to. You know, I was using them before I really knew them. If you know what I mean. Does that make sense to you at all?
No.
Yeah. So I was using their product before they came on board.
Come on.
Yes. Not full time, but I had some of their products. Like the one product that they have that I've been using since probably the day they put it on the market, and it was from my motorcycle days, is their bug cleaner.
Oh, that stuff is
The
amazing.
Silver Wax bug cleaner, and I've used them all.
Yeah, anybody who's used that stuff has also said, "Oh my God, you guys, you're
I've
right."
used them all. This thing, it's like acid. It just disintegrates bugs on
Took your whole bike right off the road.
Well, on my bike, I used to, the old Harley had the great big headlight on it, right?
Yeah.
And the thing just attracted bugs like crazy. And it's the only thing I found.
The other thing that, for anybody that has a boat and knows exactly what we're talking about, is your outboard motor. It gets beat up bad by bugs every trip we go to the north. It's like when you come back, it's covered. Your outboard is covered in bugs.
Sticks up above it.
And you got to clean it off somehow. So,
anyways, give them a try. They're called Silver Wax. The bug cleaner is just one of the products. There are different types of waxes and all kinds of protecting devices for your products, your vehicles, etc. Give them a whirl. All right, let's bring him on. Not that he needs any cleaning.
No, this is the cleanest guy in the industry right here. No doubt.
Andy Pallotta, how are you, Andy?
I'm good. How are you all doing?
Good. Welcome to the show. It's been a while. In fact, before you go on, I just want to give you. I want to give you hell.
Here it goes. Here it comes.
Because the last time we had you scheduled on here, you stiffed us.
Stood us up.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
No.
Now, Ange and I's memories are not great, but we heard a lot about it. Trust me, but from the rest of the young guys in this team.
I would never stiff you guys.
You did, but that's okay.
I apologize. I truly do.
Andy, we've been stiffed by better. Trust me.
All right, no, you guys don't deserve to be stiffed by anybody. So there you go.
Thank you, Andrew.
How you been, my friend?
So nice.
It's been a while.
Good. Just trying to get ready for the shows season.
Oh yeah, that's coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all coming up. But Christmas this year with grandkids I'm looking forward to.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. Grandparenting is a wonderful thing, is it not?
You know what, dude? I can't even explain it. And like I like yourselves, everybody else, we all, as parents, we work hard when our kids are growing, and we have that second chance to be with our grandkids and kind of make up for it. So I apologize to my girls, Victoria and Nicole. You guys are amazing, but I had to work.
It's different. It's different, isn't it? It's just different.
I had to work. I don't know what to say. I had to work.
You look to me like the ultimate grandpa too. Andy, I could just see they just love Grandpa Andy. You're it.
No. Yeah. Oh yeah,
So,
my granddaughter.
Aside from wanting to talk to you, because we hadn't talked to you in a while, there's a reason we brought you on today, and
It was the news story that we just.
it was not a news story. It was the
or the question, the fan
question.
question,
question
kind of both,
of the
right?
week last week, and we said, hey, why are we answering this? Let's bring somebody on that can. Darren McLeod via email submitted a question. He says, "Hey guys, wondering what you think about this. I used to fish a lot of local bass club tournaments before the pandemic, but I've noticed things seem quieter lately. Do you feel like the momentum around these events has dropped off, or that bass tournament fishing in Canada is slowing down? Even with so many Canadians doing well in BASS, it feels like the local competitive scene isn't what it used to be. Thanks." And I mean, we did our attempt at answering that, but honestly, we've been removed from that scene for such a long time. We said, let's bring Andy on to talk to us about it. There's your question, buddy. That's how we're going to lead you in today.
Long question. So, you know, I don't know that it's dying. In fact, I think it's still continuing to grow because there are still events out there that are catering to the 80 boats, 100 boat fields. They're not like they're not out there. And we have them as well within ours, but they're not every tournament. So the thing is there's a lot more offered out there nowadays, and you know. How do you say, guys aren't feeling comfortable in fishing some of the bigger tournaments, and it's not because I think it's more of a status of guys just don't want to compete against, you know, professional anglers. So they're finding smaller tournaments and they're actually going further. But I think we still have the same guys. Economics is economics. We had them back in our days too, where, you know, we had off years with economic downspins. But I don't know that that's really the problem right now. I think that there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of new stuff that's happening in the industry. There's forward-facing imaging that people aren't sure of. There's all kinds of things that are happening, and it's evolving. It's definitely evolving. It's just trying to figure out where everything stems and how much people want to invest to be competitive, right? So
I think the fragmentation is probably the biggest part. I mean, the last time we were seriously involved in tournaments would have been in the 80s and 90s. And there were no options back then.
That's right.
So, you know, that handful of people that were keen on doing that kind of activity.
You got in the lineup to get in, and you had, sometimes you didn't make it for 150 boats.
Exactly. And so the word got out that these fields were full, and there were waiting lists of 200 boats waiting to get in. They would even show up on site. We'd have 50 boats there, parked there waiting in case somebody got ill and couldn't fill the 150 field, and they'd be the next one in.
Yeah.
But much like the television business, those days are gone. And why I'm alluding to television, because we were kind of in that same world with television. When we got involved in television, our first shows, there were 13 channels on TV, right? Yeah. And so, I mean, you had a 1 out of 13 shot at being viewed. Mm-hmm. Think about that.
Yeah. Now you got those crack boxes. You get thousands upon thousands of channels. You got everything.
We're hundreds of thousands of viewing opportunities.
Yeah.
So, it's just changed the landscape, and tournament fishing is the same. I mean, now it's a whole different ballgame.
Hey, Andy, so you were mentioning that some of your tournaments have a lot, some of them have a few. Have you put your mind to it as to why does this one have so many and why does this one not, and consistently, or this area? Is it geographic? Is it, what is it, do you think?
No, you know what? It actually evolves more towards our classic. So depending on the year, if our classic is more favoring the west side, then our western fields are solid, right? And if our classics are more favoring the east, then you're going to find the easterns are more solid. So that's really that's a big goal for a lot of guys to go to. And then there are given lakes that like certain guys are feeling, hey, we don't really stand a chance at winning there, so we'll focus on these lakes, all right? So it is what it is. And then we run like special events. We run the Pro J Cup at the end of the year, which we just finished. It was a full event. We had, it was 80 boats, different from the old days where full events were, 150 boats. And we were attributed to that, right? And we can still manage that. It's not even an issue. But I'll be honest with you, I don't even mind it being down to that 80 boat field line because, we've been contemplating just cutting ours right at 80 boats and leaving it there because it's easier to manage. It's faster for the weigh-ins. It's still an excellent payback structure. We haven't raised our prices in our tournaments for probably 7-8 years, that we haven't done anything with as far as that goes. But cost of gas, price of everything is just constant. So
you're inflation proof.
Wow,
I love it.
There's only one of them out there, and it's Andy.
Yeah, you know what? We can't take we got to say our sponsors. We have a lot of sponsors, so thank you very much.
Yeah.
And then, our spring fishing show, which really helps us out. Like that helps us to start the year off and put us back into good condition. We put a lot of work and effort into that. And I really believe that that's another key in helping us maintaining what we're doing. And the guys all support it, right? So it's a good thing. So it's all good.
I know this is going to be a crazy idea. Maybe you've even thought about this, but what if how would your anglers receive the classic area will not be announced until tournament 1 has started?
That's what I was, no.
Or
not until it's over.
Until it's over, whatever, just holding it back from them and so that you can get more. Would you get more or less, do you think?
You know what? I think we'd get less. And the only reason why is, and then there's a lot of other obstacles there, because somebody's going to know where that is, because you have to book that park. You have to get everything in line and ready.
Right.
We always do a lot more. We do a drive-by at the Classic. There's a lot of work involved to what we do at our Classics, right? So it's not just, let's show up and we're going to fish and you come in. We have to literally go through a lot of town stuff. And then we have to book hotels. Guys that are coming from out of town need to book hotels. There's a lot to it. And it's a little bit more than, with clubbies, they tend to do that where, they'll pull a hat like at the end of the year. Back in the old days when there was only 12 channels, like it was good to pull the rimple out of the hat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know exactly. We know exactly what you mean because they did it to us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would even go farther than that. You know what?
Oh boy, here we go.
No, I would even go as far.
I
would make you fish the events to qualify for the big one, and it would be announced at the spring fishing show. So you would fish it the following year. The first event of the year would be the Classic.
Yeah.
Hey? What do you think of that?
So we thought of that too. So you want to hear where our obstacles there is some guys don't like fishing with their partners after the end of the year. And then all of a sudden you're tying them back in together the following year. So I'm just saying we have honestly looked at that. We thought, it would be fantastic is to run the Classic at the beginning of the year. So that way, you're honored through the whole year. People, you won the Classic. It's a great feel, right?
Yeah. Bass does that, right? Their Classics in February or March, whatever it is. So it's kind of in the early in the season.
It makes sense. To me, it makes total sense. And you get an opportunity to make a big deal of it, especially at your show at the spring fishing. I mean, that would be huge. That in itself would be a huge draw, in my opinion. Right? But
I'm not disagreeing with you, and honestly, I'm not. I just, again, some of the obstacles we're faced with. So.
we interrupt this program to bring you the much-anticipated bonus code for the latest Fishing Canada giveaways. This week's code is CHAMPION. That's CHAMPION. CHAMPION, all uppercase. For those who haven't entered yet, what the heck are you waiting for? Head on over to fishingcanada.com while you listen to the rest of this episode. Click contests and sign up for all the latest Fishing Canada giveaways. And now, back to the show. We also wanted to talk to you. I mean, there's a million things we want to talk about.
God.
But you mentioned it already once, so let's jump right into it. Forward-facing sonar. What's your take on forward-facing?
Yeah, you'd be a great person to ask that because you've probably heard every angle from every person, positive, negative, and everything in between, right? So you'd be the perfect guy to ask this.
We're still kind of trying to figure it out. I'm not going to sit there and tell you any different, but the reality of it is it any different than when GPS came into the industry?
That's exactly what we say. That's what we say, side imaging.
Yeah, all the stuff we've had over the years, even fishing tackle, like, having very sensitive rods where it does cost you more, or reels that tend to not break down or more stronger and everything else. Fishing line, just even fishing line, you're getting into braid line, it's costing 3 times more than what. So, the thing is I don't know that it should be banned, right? I think that it should be maybe restricted. I can see that happening.
Why? Stop there for a minute. What do you mean restricted?
Well, maybe to 2 units per boat instead of having 8.
Why?
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because I don't know that having 4 units on your boats really benefits you that much more.
No,
right?
it probably doesn't. So why? Why ban it?
So the thing is right now we have like people that are trying to keep up with the electronic, what do you want to call it, the chase, right, or whatever.
Yeah.
So these electronics could cost you inwards between $20,000 to $30,000, right, on a boat. There are boats out there that aren't even worth half of that have that type of electronics on it, which is fine. But we're also looking at economics. We're looking at everything that goes along with it. And the thing is I don't know that we're giving guys that can't afford it a chance to really get on the playing field and play equally because they feel they don't got a chance. And then at the end of the day, they're just saying, hey, screw it, I'm not fishing. So the reality of it is it's not because we're trying to hurt people, but we're trying to make the field so that everybody wants to participate. When you're looking at a boat, it's a simple thing of buying a boat. And you're buying a boat, you saved your whole life for that boat. You paid, that boat's that used to cost maybe $60,000, $70,000, $120,000 to $130,000, and then you add back the electronics to that, and now you're up to $180,000. So all of a sudden, guess what? You're not buying that boat. So are we losing anglers like what we started with because the sport's getting to that point where it's just too expensive?
Hang on, I have to interrupt, Andy. You're not losing anglers. Let's not lose sight of the fact that the majority of people who pursue fishing are not tournament fishermen, right? We keep thinking that those are the anglers, and they're not, right? No. You're not going to affect the anglers. In fact, I think by all the hype around forward-facing sonar that's been going on with the banning and restricting, like you just said, I think if anything, those non-tournament dudes are saying, whoa, I'm going to go buy me some forward facing because obviously if they're banning it there,
this shit's
I
gotta
can
be
use
good.
it, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think we can just, it's not an umbrella statement that we can make that we're going to lose anglers or we're affecting anglers. Yes, you're affecting tournament anglers, right?
Yeah.
But my opinion on that, and we might as well discuss it while we're here. I think there's tournament anglers, and then there are professional anglers. And this is where I'm having a problem with this restriction, this banning, it doesn't make sense to me because tournament angling, maybe you want to look, and I don't even know whether you do, but maybe you do want to make a change there. But in terms of wanting to be called professional anglers, and I'm saying, I don't want more than 2 screens on the boats. Well, that's like saying to a golf guy, well, you have to carry your own bags on the pro tour. You know what I mean? Because I can't afford a caddy.
Yeah.
Well, no, go to the courses that allow you to carry your own bags. But if you want to, you want to go into the big leagues and call yourself pro fisherman, then suck it up, Buttercup. There's a cost of entry.
Andy, who's in BASS, in MLF, and in those leagues that are the best of the best, who is the major complainer in this against forward? Because every of those guys are adequate without, or whatever, so they might as well just have it and use it. Let's all get at her like that. Who's the one that's making the biggest stink in those series alone?
At that level,
which they should be allowed to use anything they want. But who is that?
When you're at the pro top levels, right? Like the guys that feel like they can't bend over and look at an image all day long, and they'd rather be fishing shallow waters, fishing the more diverse fishing of everything. And then they're competing. You got a lot of young anglers that are coming into the sport that are phenomenal anglers. You still got to catch the fish, right? But the reality of it is they're better video game players than guys like me or Ange will ever be. I'm sorry, Ange, not the
but you're right. But you're right.
That changes the game, and that's what changes the game. So the thing is looking at that, we're trying to say, okay, fine, we need to appease both worlds. So how do we appease both worlds? And that's where it becomes a bit of a challenge. So we always need to bring more people to the sport. I think that's what's very important, right? And then from that point, it's up to them. Going back to a pro, what is a pro? Like for us in Canada, like other than the pros that are fishing in the US that are considered pros, right? Everybody else is semi-pro. So when you're fishing tournaments, you're a semi-pro angler that puts that much more into the sport. You're still going to work on Monday morning. You're still coming home from work on Friday night. You're still paying your bills. You're still doing all that stuff. And 9 out of 10 times, you might even buy some used equipment. So it's the way the wheel turns, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's just it's fine, right? But it's just, it does get tougher. And,
So-
you get guys that are sitting there saying, hey, we're putting our money into pots where we know we don't even stand a chance to fish anymore.
So it's these older anglers, is what you're saying, the guys that are the shallow water dudes, the guys way before live scope, the Andys and Pete's of the world that are doing the complaining in there, do you think?
No, it's not just them. It's everybody. It's like you can't pinpoint one group or the other. It's like at the end of the day, it's understanding the method or the procedure or the technique, right? But affording it is a big part of it. It really is a big part of it. Just like fishing, like when we used to fish the rivers, and even the rivers, I think slack on how many guys are in the rivers to the days when we used to go to the Ganaraska and you'd be shoulder to shoulder in every hole. I don't think that happens anymore either, right? So why is that? You ask yourself, why is it? Is it just the interest? Is it everything in general? I think the interest is there. I just think we need to, let people feel like, hey, they're not going to, kill their bank accounts to do it. I think parents need to bring their kids out fishing, and maybe not going and buying them $300 rods. Maybe, there's a lot of great rods. Like, I don't know. I've always wondered what a $30 rod today would represent 30 years ago. Would that represent a $200 rod? I don't know. Right.
Wow.
So
It probably would.
Probably.
Yeah,
Probably.
you're right.
and that rod, that many years ago, we fished tournaments with you, me, Pete. We all did it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now those rods might be only $30, $40, but you know what? We always want to get the best, which is, that's nothing wrong with that either. But it is what it is, right?
But once again, we're crossing that line between anglers and professional fishermen, right?
Yeah.
And I think
I like the way you called it semi-pro.
Okay,
at least, right?
you're semi-pro. Well, then there's a third category. There's just the passive angler who just wants to
Right.
fish because he loves fishing. That doesn't mean any less of him than the one who's the
exactly.
semi-pro that fishes your tournaments, or the pro, because we have no pros here in Canada. They're fishing in Canadian waters. They're all south of the border, in my opinion. So now we have three categories. That's not the point here. The point is, I take exception to controlling the equipment that these guys use at any of those three levels, by the way. I think each level is different, so each level should have, well, obviously passive anglers shouldn't have any restriction other than getting a fishing license and adhering to the local laws. The semi-pro, whatever restrictions you put on them so that you can put on the best event possible. And then you got the pros, where I think in terms of technology, keep in mind, and I don't want to belabor this, but F1 draws some of the most incredible automobile brands known to mankind. Most of those brands are not there because they sell racing cars, right? Those brands are there for the exposure and to be able to create this wonderful industry called the automotive industry by showcasing technology and upgrades and sleek and sexy, and so that when we go to buy a vehicle, they're hoping that we will be influenced by the technology that they displayed on the track. Well, in my opinion, when you stunt that in the fishing industry, you're doing it would, in my opinion, it's criminal. Let the pros, not the semi-pros, not the passive angler, the pros who want to be in the game, they got to use the latest technology. Why should we stunt the opportunity for growth at that level? Because
are there
somebody's
not
complaining.
restrictions though in F1 stuff like that? There's got to be some kind of restriction.
Everybody has to be the same. The technology has to be shared throughout.
So they have whatever, you can't use something, nobody can use it. Then
They all have to use it, right? And that's to me, that's what forward-facing sonar is.
And they would all use it to the perfect level, to that friggin'
to what
billionth of a
exactly.
what fraction.
F1
exactly.
is obviously their interest is in safety,
right.
It's not money. Their benchmarks are safety. As long as we could push this to the limit,
interesting. Okay.
without killing somebody, we're in. Right? In this case, it's the fishing industry. These pros should be able to catch fish with no shackles. Whatever they need to entertain and help the sport grow, they should be allowed to use. So
Sure.
I just don't get it, man.
But even in the U.S., right now, they're doing so many tournaments. Bass is doing X amount of tournaments with forward-facing imaging allowed and some with not. So even they've decided that they're doing a 50-50 split.
That's fine.
It keeps everybody in the same game. But now you're restricted on the size of the horsepower motor you can put on your boat. Okay, so you can't put, 350 on your boat. That's always been a problem when it comes down. Not a problem. It's always been a thing with BSS. We just came back from MLF where, the coal anglers, and I think even with BSS, you're only allowed to bring so much tackle on the boat. Those are all restrictions that keep things, and it's not to disable, it's to keep things fair, and at the same time to work with it. So the manufacturers in a car race, okay, when you're talking the elites, there's all your manufacturers, they're paying for these guys, it's happening. But when you get into a semi-pro level, club level, all this stuff, like the manufacturers are supporting and helping anglers, but at the same time, like it's not quite the same deal as an F1 would be with respect to how much support they're getting from the manufacturers to say, hey, we want you to use this product, and you're now going to become the certain type of oil car or whatever. You know what I mean?
It's all relative to the audience, right?
It's still a different game, but there are a lot of restrictions that are happening. It's even in golf, there's restrictions. There's restrictions in everything you do nowadays. And I think, we've looked at handicapping. We've looked at all kinds of things to make things right, to try and help the situation. But it's not an easy decision. So a lot of tournaments in the States don't allow elites to fish their tournaments. It's actually it's very common where they're just not allowed to fish.
And honestly, I think that's fair.
Yeah, well,
I think that's fair. Why would you take a pro and stick him in a field of semi-pros?
And again, I that part of it, I agree. Okay, I 100% agree, and I'm not going to get into names or this and that. But then, you are a television guy. Your grandson is working with you, right? So should your grandson not have that opportunity to work with you to become that much and offer a better program? So these pros have these offsprings, right, that can become even better anglers than what their parents are. And I really believe that that's the case. And then you're going to turn around and we're going to take them out of the picture too. Is that fair to them? Right. So I'm looking at a lot of different reasons and why we're trying to figure out what is the correct answer and how is it. So if you become the best angler, Pete's become really close a few times, yourself, Ange, back in the day, where all of a sudden guys say, hey, we can't compete these guys. We're not going to fish them. Is that really fair that you work so hard to become the angler you are to all of a sudden be banned from tournaments? And I don't know that I agree with that. I understand it, but the thing is we are all working to become better anglers, not to become worse or to maintain the status we are. And the thing is that's why I have a bit of a problem. I have a lot of a problem with it. And I'm trying to, like the sonar, I have a lot of things on my plate that we're constantly working on trying to figure out, what is the proper direction and approach and how do we make everybody happy? And a lot of it has to do with the future of the sport, because what you do today is going to affect tomorrow. I don't care what anybody says. Our conversation today will affect anglers and what they feel they should be investing and not investing come tomorrow. Right. So
you must get a lot of a shit kicking from the average Joe out there when a Corey and a Chris and a Cooper and Evan, all those guys want to enter your tournaments. You must just hear it from every friggin' angle, do you?
But we do. But at the same time, when you beat those guys, right, you can win $10,000. But I'll tell guys that come back to me after that event and say, I beat Corey or I beat Chris today. And they feel so proud of it. Oh, for sure. And Corey and Chris and Evan, they all fish. Cooper, we haven't seen for a year. He's been fishing more, focusing in the States. But, when you're a gentleman and you're talking to guys and guys want to support you because they know what's happening. They're not, it costs a lot for guys to go down south and do all that stuff. Even though, you look at Chris, he's won the Angler of the Year 2 years in a row, right? So that's amazing. Can you imagine what his kids are going to be capable of doing?
No kidding.
Right? Yeah. So when they do show up at the tournaments and we announce them come up on stage, I'll announce, hey, here's Corey Johnson and my future headache, Jack Johnson.
But that's good.
Canadians are a little bit different than our U.S. partner people in the States. Like the U.S. are hard and they're really cutthroat one way or the other way, right? But a lot of our new anglers, like because we ask and they want to fish against the Johnsons, they want to fish against the best, right? They want to feel good about it. But then you get the guys there saying, you know what, these guys don't belong here. So it's something that we have to look at for our business and sustaining it, and how do we move forward, right? So,
and is there a world where they could both have events catered specifically to them?
we're even looking at that right now. We're looking at a lot of things, dude. So I'm just saying, at the end of the day, it's really, we are a tournament series of the anglers, no matter how you look at it. Like, we're directed by our audience and who's fishing our tournament. So we have to listen to everybody, and people should never think that we're not listening to them. It's just a matter of, there's a lot more on the table than just saying cut, dry, done deal. And I can tell you those are things that, we've dealt with many years. When you guys fish tournaments, think of the guys that people were saying they shouldn't be fishing our tournaments. They're winning every tournament. They're doing this, they're doing that. It's not new to our scene. It's not, none of it's new. But I can tell you one thing: they're all honest people, and they work really hard for what they do. And I know that we're going to be heading in that other direction shortly. But these guys deserve what they're getting. They fish pro-ams with co-anglers that aren't their partners, that are watching these guys do well. They got cameras on their boats that are showing us what they're doing and what they're catching them on and everything else. Like, these are things that we need to be proud of. At the same time, I get the fact that it does kick in the butt.
Speaking of cameras, we got to talk about earlier on in the program, before you came on, one of the news stories that we talked about was a kayak tournament series south of the border. And not only is it a kayak series, but it's you film yourself and you submit that image, and I don't know how they verify that, but anyways, whatever the deal is, the guy got caught cheating in that too now. So it's even got into the kayak fishing industry about the cheating. Well,
you can't have an official on your boat, right? Say, there you go. You got a one-man boat there, unless you run on the shoreline where you're chasing them.
Like, it's brilliant. I hate to say that because it's going to probably give somebody an idea. Hey, maybe I should cheat. So this guy took a partial the seat part of a kayak and bolted it to the back of his boat, so that he'd go out in his fishing boat, in his bass boat, and catch the fish, and then sit in his kayak and take those images of him sitting in the kayak.
Jesus.
Which it is brilliant. It is really brilliant. But you know what the amazing part about it, Andy, is? The prize. The purse was $200. Like, this guy destroyed a kayak for a possibility of winning a $200 prize. Like, it's insanity.
And he cheated, and he fished a no-fish zone the first day. They told him you can't do that. He went back the second day. What the hell? This guy's got balls of steel. Like, what the hell?
We bring that up because I need to ask you, how is that going? How, for a while there, we seemed to have you on the show whenever we had a big, high-profile scam, in tournament fishing, and we'd bring you on as the Canadian godfather of tournament fishing, right? How's that going? We haven't heard anything as of late. Are we cleaning up our act, or?
No, you know what? I believe, most of the guys are we haven't seen or heard of anything going wrong. So, but I'm going to just emphasize on this whole kayak thing, because you said something that was only worth $200, right?
Yeah.
My grandfather, when we started this, right? Because, you got to remember, they couldn't understand why I put the fish back into the water. At the end of the day, food for a year. What are you doing? So, we can feed all the paisans, we can do everything, right? So, but he always said to me, he goes, people used to go to war and fight for a medal, and being that it's 2 days after, the day after Remembrance Day, we have to keep in mind, we don't know what that value of that prize is to anybody. Is that prize? It may not just be the $200. It may be the bragging rights for the rest of his life. Yeah. And the thing is that value doesn't necessarily come from, the fact of, it's a $200 entry, or I personally myself believe it's harder to do something wrong or something that when you're fishing at a higher level, that if you got caught, you'd be destroyed and you never be fishing again. I think that the lesser the pressure of that being there, like saying, hey, I paid $50 to fish this little event, and at the end of the day, we're going to do this or we're going to do that, and it's no big deal. I think there's more chances of that happening and stuff like that than there ever is in events that, where they're paying a bigger ticket, and guys that have a passion for it would be.
It's a good point.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So, but like I said, there's a lot more of that stuff happening than we know of. Right.
Oh,
and
God. Could you imagine how much
we
cheating's
have
going on?
expensive tournaments that, with gentlemen starts where you go to your blast off spot and then you start at 7:00, but the prizes aren't extravagant. So it's more about, and again, it's a lot of our own guys that are fishing them and they bring their kids and everything else. But again, we need to bring you anglers to the sport. And I believe that trying to get back to the old days where, the shoreline fishing is a big issue, is a big thing. We don't see that. We don't see that anymore. When was the last time you drove by a pier and seen what we used to see as growing up, right? It's just not happening. And that's where we need to grow. And the kayaks, I thought we're doing a good job. I'm not a big fan of any of the camera stuff. That's just me, whether it's ice fishing or this and that. I think that there's so much room for opportunity for guys to look for those opportunities, shall we call them. But personally, I don't know what else to call it, Pete. I really don't know what else to call it, right?
It's true.
But guys feel, it's only $50. We'll go have fun, right? And we'll see how it plays out. But I told you guys earlier about the news about the Bay Quinte. Bay Quinte, right? Are we allowed to talk about that or no?
Go.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Go ahead. I forgot all about it.
Yeah, so the walleye world, which we've all participated in years, they decided they're going to take a year off, right, and then kind of vamp everything and figure out which direction they're going to go.
That's the Kiwanis event, right? The Kiwanis event that actually started way back at the Napanee River 20, 30 years ago, whatever. That's the same one, right?
That's the same. And it's all volunteer based. It's amazing.
Give people a scope of the size of the event.
So back in those days, that event used to draw 4,000 anglers.
Wow. That's right. Yeah,
that was 4,000 anglers.
Oh, it was nuts. It was nuts.
So it really is a lot of work, right? And a lot of volunteers that were a part of it that made it happen. And we find that even from events like the Canada-US Walleye that we run up in Bob Cajun, where the volunteers, slowly, disappeared. And then it was like, how do you keep these things going, even for the anglers? And you know what? We have found a way to do it. We do have some business support in the area that see the value in bringing these guys up there, but we also have we have the support from our sponsors that also see the value. So, and this is no different because the walleye world has done so much. It's introduced the sport to so many people. Our Perch Festival, the Aurelia Perch Festival, which we took over 2 years ago, same thing. It was just at a point where it was difficult for them to find the volunteers that would wake up at the hours, the godly hours, to be a part of it. And those time of years, it's just raining or it's windy or it's really bad weather. They got to be out there. They got to do all that stuff. It's difficult. And I think that we're not any different. I think in the next couple of years when we do retire, I don't know if we want to be out there at that time in the morning and doing all that nasty stuff. So, but anyways, trying to say as quickly as possible, I think the Kiwanis were also faced with the same scenario. And the thing is, this is why we're not ruling that they're not going to be coming back. The door is open to them. It'll be interesting to see if they do or they don't, but they're always always welcome to be a part of it. We put our hat into the ring, right? And we've been given, so Trenton has given us Quinte West has given us the green light to go ahead with it. They've had all their meetings and they've done everything in their due diligence. They feel comfortable allowing us to move forward with it. We've gone to Picton. We've got that book. We've got 3. We have one more location to iron out, but we want everybody in the area to get involved in this. And we're looking at maybe refocusing it a little bit and driving those shoreline anglers back there and giving them an opportunity, maybe tagging fish and getting them along those shore banks to get opportunity of some prizes and everything else. I think that's important in getting everything back to where it was and bringing it back to, the grassroots, shall we call it, and saying, hey, how do we get more kids going? How do we get people doing stuff on the shoreline? And I think that, you're going down a trend. There's so much shoreline, and we've all fished that river, right?
Yep.
And it's beautiful shoreline. There's beautiful ramps there. They've done such a great job. So there's lots of opportunity, and now it's just a matter of getting guys. Let's get them fishing, and let's maybe introduce them back to the sport. Not saying, hey, you need to buy this or you need to buy that. I think that's where the tackle stores need to bring people a little bit back down to earth and saying, hey, this rod is a fantastic rod for $60-$70. You're going to have a good outfit here, right? So and worms, going back to some of the basics, using worms, using leeches. We don't use them anymore. We don't promote them. We don't allow them in our tournaments for competitive reasons. But for a mom or a dad that's getting out there that wants to go and fish with their kids, you probably did go into your grandfather's garage. I know me being the grandfather, I got lots of stuff in my garage that kids can use. And that's what I'm saying. Or even OFA has they have a tackle share program, right? Yeah. That you can book stuff out on. There's lots of things up there, right? But we're looking forward to it. We're going to be making we made more of this is a press release right now where we're actually working on a press release to put out to let people know.
Can we put the date out? Do we know when it's going to be?
It's going to maintain that opening weekend. I think that's important because walleye is a type of fishery where it moves, right? So the thing is that opening weekend, people go down the Trent. And so it's the first place you can fish for walleye and everybody's down there, right? Yeah. Then the weekend after that, the lakes open up. Everybody wants to fish their home lakes. Then the weekend after that, the rivers open up. So you're slowly getting less and less anglers. And the big draw is that first weekend. We're going to maintain the trailer parking and all that stuff. We've already got that all green lighted by them. They're like, yeah, it's good. We want that. If you ever go there at nighttime, the party time on nighttime is beyond. Crazy. They put up their trailers down in that park, and they have these little, I don't know what communes or whatever they call them, and they're their fires going and telling stories. You walk around, and you can't walk from one to the other without somebody passing you a drink and saying, "Hey, get over here."
It's true.
It really brings you back, but we want to emphasize on that and do much more in that world. And I feel that between the Perch Festival, and we're going to change the name to Walleye Festival. So we're going to keep them the same. We're going to do it's basically, if you look at our Perch Festival, you're going to see the exact same thing here. There'll be boat prizes, the motor prizes, tons of tackle prizes, tons and tons of prizes. Like when we did the Perch Festival last year, we were making up prizes to give them to people. We didn't know we had so much. Everybody contributed. Canadian Tire, Epps, Tremblay's. We couldn't get enough product. We got too much product. It was crazy.
Oh, that's great. And for those listening, that is the first weekend in May, correct? First Saturday and Sunday in May. So that's kind of a pre-opener to the rest of, like Andy said, the rest of the province.
Yeah, it's more, I'm glad you're changing it to the word festival because really it is, right?
That's the way to put it.
Even back at the beginning, it was always, it wasn't, the fishing was a part of it, but it was that first get-together with everybody.
The Ganny, the opening day of the Ganny, no competition, but that was exactly that. There was so many people that had fun that whole weekend, especially that Friday night. Yeah. You know what I mean? Then you go fishing the Saturday morning. So it's just
it's a good name for it. It's the Walleye Festival. I think is fantastic. What are the limitations there or restrictions in terms of the fish itself? Is there a number that you're dealing with? Or
size restrictions, I just want to make sure before I say them, I don't want to say it until I know for sure. There are what you're allowed to catch, you're not allowed to catch, because there are restrictions on the size. But the thing is it's not any different than last year. And you can put as many people on the boat. You can fish from shore. We're going to do everything in our power to make the shoreline stuff more attractive, to get people out fishing. I think that's important. We're going to actually decrease the price of tickets as well. So we're going to bring it back down to a point where, it's not about the pros, even though they're welcome to fish. Everybody's welcome to fish, but it's more about having everybody having fun. I think that's the most
They should
important
decorate their boats. Almost like the
Fanny down the Ganny.
exactly. Everybody
Floating
should
fanny
turn
down.
out with their own themes, boats.
That would be
and stuff.
awesome. Think about that. The flags going, and yeah, it'd be awesome.
But we did talk about a kayak possible event from the 10K going north, so that way they won't get themselves into trouble, right?
Right.
So we
Yeah.
have of different things and different groups that we can include that we will be there.
Make sure you put in the rules that they can't bolt that kayak to their bass boat, okay? Because that would not.
Yeah, you know, and when these things happen, I'll tell you right now, like the only thing is I kind of feel sorry for, there's a lot of work that goes into kayak fishing. The guys that put it together, they have a lot of heart, and Peter's got a lot of heart. A lot of guys that are into it put a lot of heart and effort into it. And every time things like that happen, even remember the walleye guys with the stones, like, dude, okay, so let me tell you a really quick story. Vita and I ended up having to drive down to the MLF2, the championship. So we get to the border, okay, and we get to the other side, and the guy starts, he goes, hey, you win tournaments in Canada? I go, yeah, right? He goes, well, I kind of follow you guys, right? And I go, yeah. So he starts talking about the forward imaging. This is a guy, the border guy, right?
Wow.
Older guy, right? And then from there, it got into the walleyes and the stones and this and that, right? You guys get a lot of that happening. And I'm like, no, dude, we were at the border for over half an hour. The poor bastard behind us, like, I hate to say, like, you know, when you're the next car in, like, you really move over. You don't move over, right? So I kept looking in the mirror. I go, I'm feeling so bad for this guy because we're going to pull him in and friggin', you know.
That's great.
So, but anyways, it was needless to say, but like that thing with the walleye will never end, and it really painted a lot of stuff. Like, you know, since that, like, you know, even like Jack Summers, like, he came to us, he sponsored us these he gave us the metal wands, right? We use them religiously. We use them in all our troughs, and you know, I'm going to tell you something.
That's interesting.
But we don't. But I'm going to tell you, we don't do it because we don't trust our anglers, okay? Because I like to think that our anglers wouldn't be that stupid, right? But it's the perception of the sport where people have to sit there and try and figure out, well, this guy's on the boat all day. Who knows what he's doing with these fish? Who knows what so when we tell them that, and then we also tell them that we have guys that, you know, if you're winning consistent events, you're doing lie detector tests, we're doing all these things to make sure that to stop any thoughts or questions that we're doing something wrong. And I'm telling you, you know, when people are like really impressed, like, wow, you do that? Yeah, these guys do that? Yeah. And, you know, it gives the guys that much more credit. I really believe it does.
So what do you tell me again? So you use a wand and you...
Metal detector.
Yeah, metal detector. But I've got a question for that. Go ahead.
Yeah, so they put the wand across it, right? And then if it keeps, then we have to open up the fish to see if it's a jig that's stuck in his mouth, right? Because that can happen, right? If that's the case, then, you know, we will let that go because we don't want to hurt the fish. It's always been a practice with tournaments where, you know, a hook in the mouth has always been left there, right? And if that's determined that that's what it is, then it's fine. We haven't had, knock on wood, we haven't had any issues other than that since.
Now, is it possible a fish would swallow some metal object on its own?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. Not that I'm aware of.
I'm just throwing that out there. I mean,
we've never experienced. I think that I can tell you straight out as a tournament director that if the wand went off and it was you, or anybody that I know, or anybody, forget about if it was you or anybody I know, it would be unfortunate. I would have to open up that fish. Right, I think that would be a given. Right, we had I don't know. Do you remember when the Great Salmon, the Ontario Salmon Derby kind of ended for a year, 2 years, and so we put a Band-Aid on it. So we just kept things going, right? We weren't saying, hey, we're coming back. So we brought back the old salmon hunt, and we ran it, and then which was fine. And then the next year we ran, I think it was a $500 a day tournament we ran. So every day you win $500, right, for 2 months. And so a guide, not a guide, but a charter captain from St. Catharines actually weighed in a fish, right? And when we give them at the weigh station, we give them a bar too that they have to rear the fish with, and they can feel like ting ting type of deal. And sure enough, there was tinging in there. So they opened the fish, they found lead. We charged the guy, everything happened. It was funny because every talk show was talking about, and in Ontario or in Canada, a guy was caught with pushing lead up a fish's butt. It's kind of stupid and funny, but it happened, and we caught them. Fortunately enough, we like to think that when we're doing stuff, we want people to understand that we're doing our job as tournament organizers to make sure that none of that stuff's happening. And I think that's important, that people have to feel comfortable in coming up to the stage or doing what they're doing.
To your point from earlier on, it doesn't really matter what the prize. In fact, the smaller the prize, usually the more likelihood that somebody could be doing something nefarious, because you don't hear about that, on the big tournaments, the big professional events. You never hear of either that or they hide it. Maybe they don't want to risk that publicity. But I've never heard of anybody. I shouldn't say that. I guess
there probably is. Yeah.
Recently something. But
you know what else they're now? I don't want to give any assholes out there an idea here, but what they're doing now in these fish, ice cubes.
Yeah.
Oh. And
you can't detect that. It doesn't mean somehow get it in close. So there's water in the fish. He's not going to piss
water.
it out. Yeah, right. And it stays in there long enough that whatever it gets, you can get it either in the arse or in the mouth.
How do you know this?
Because I just heard this from a Great Lakes fisherman, a salmon fisherman, that I think somebody either got busted somehow, maybe because a lot of those tournaments or derbies, whatever you call them, they cut the fish open anyways, I guess. And I found a pile of ice cubes in this fish, and it's weight, right? It's water.
Yeah.
So now they're doing that. So the metal detectors that Andy's using, it doesn't show it.
There you go.
But I'll tell you, it's a little bit harder on the bass stuff, only because, like when we do our bass tournaments, and we do from when they come out of the boats to the stage and back to our live release, but where we release the fish, the process that these fish are going through, like the water temperatures, I don't think would allow that ice to become significant enough leading up to it, because a fish is like a hot rock, right? And that's probably the best way to explain it. And the thing is when a fish comes out of your live well and it's hot, and that's what will keep bringing everything else and making it hot. So when a fish comes out of the tank and it's cold, right, we find that those fish are a little bit better only because of oxygen levels. But by the time it gets through that process, by the time it gets to the stage, gets weighed, at that point, I don't know that would be a case. And then the thing is the bass is, unless you're getting to a 5 or 6 pound bass, 2-3 pound bass is not going to do the damage that you would like to, that people might think there is, right? Or
yeah.
But you're right, Pete. I've heard that from people where that happens, and I think maybe more so with fish events where fish can come in dead or alive. I think that could be a possibility, but not. I don't feel that happens in our tournaments. Besides, we do lie detector tests. If there's ever a thought that I feel something's not right, boom. And it's not like at one time it was like, we would be reluctant to do the lie detector test because we didn't really want bad press coming out of the event. It's the exact opposite now. At this point of the game, we just need a reason, and boom, and when you're doing one, and we have them on hand. We have numerous guys that are close. They're all guys that worked with the RCMP. They worked with the police in investigating their ways. So I know they're not 100%, but at that point, then we will make a decision whether we do a second lie detector test or whatever. And we've never had to at this point. Everything's been pretty good, so we're pretty happy.
This episode is brought to you by Angler's Leaderboard and its Spot Mapper feature. Spot Mapper connects your catch data to your spots, allowing you to view your catch history. With Spot Mapper, your locations stay completely private. Only you can access them, so your favorite spots stay your secret. Learn more at anglersleaderboard.com. I want your opinion on something. Recently, that's why I just said, until recently. Recently, meaning in the last couple of years, I guess I'll go as far back as that. There was a big cheating fiasco south of the border regarding gathering information from other pros and or guides and or I've got two thoughts on that. I want to hear yours.
I only got
for the audience.
One thought. I'll tell you, because honestly, I love Scott. Honestly,
no, I didn't. I'm not mentioning names. This is not about any.
Bill. No. It was Bill.
Bill.
Bill. So
I want to know. I want to know. Listen to me. Listen to me. Stop. I want to know, first of all, if you have that rule here in Canada on your tournaments, and if you do not have that rule, then what do you think about that rule? And the rule for the audience listening is that you cannot garner information that would give you a leg up on your competition from anybody else that is either fishing the event and or fishes for a living on that body of water or has had anything to do with a tournament on that body of water over the last, I think, year or two. As a competitor, you cannot glean information from those people that would help you in the event. So now, go ahead, Andy.
Okay, so I just want to understand. So what you're saying is, I know what you're saying. I just want to make sure everybody else understands.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to gather information from anybody outside of the event. So you're not allowed to go to a local store or tackle shop and get any information regarding that body of water.
That is correct.
Right?
But from what I understand, it is beyond that, and that is you cannot get information from another competitor.
No, that's not true.
It's not true?
This is the part that bothers me because so in our events, we have a third party rule here in Canada, which means you can't gather information a certain time prior to the event. So 8 days before the event, you're not allowed to get out there and get information, call up a guide that's gathered money or won money on the event. That's now gathering and you're seeking the information, right? But we extend that even to fellow competitors. So we don't allow you to even reach out to, if he's fishing against you, you can't ask him about information. Now, we have what we call talk, which is common, today they were, this, this and that. But when you're talking specifics, docs, whatever, information that will definitely better you, then that's the case. In the U.S., they allow you to, in the top circuits, you are allowed to talk to other competitors about the water. You're allowed to talk about the tournaments. You're allowed to do all that stuff. But you're not allowed to gather any information outside. So the argument that I have, right, and in that particular situation is, who's the better angler? The guys that you're calling the elites, right? Or are you calling the local tackle shop a better angler? So who should be restricted to handing out that information? Should it be the competitor, right? Because now if me, you, and Pete are on the same team and you guys are great fishermen and we're fishing a body of water that you guys haven't fished for many years and we're sharing information, right? Then does that make it okay? Because if you get a new guy that comes, right, and all of a sudden he's fishing against us and he doesn't have that little click, he's fishing by himself. What chance in hell does he ever have to win that tournament?
Forward facing sonar. He can't afford forward facing sonar, so I shouldn't be allowed to use it either.
Okay, but the thing is,
see what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't think that they should allow clicks. Like, I don't think they should allow guys that are rooming together to share information, because I think that information, when you're on a body of water for 5 solid days, every single day, pre-fishing for an event, that you're not gathering more information than what some guy who picks up the phone and says, hey, I'm going to go fish a lake. And, by the way, you know what I mean? Like, that's impossible. Unless you're telling a guy there's a cage there, which is illegal, right, in a tournament. I disagree with that rule. I disagree with it immensely. I disagree that rule should even be allowed at that level, because if I'm not with the right guys, I don't stand a chance at winning. I don't. Right? I really don't have a chance at winning, because I could win. I could get lucky. I could find them on my forward imaging, but at the end of the day, it's not me competing against you or fishing, you and Pete fishing against each other. I'm fishing against whatever that group consists of, and that's difficult. So I have my own thoughts on it, and I've been challenged by it by a lot of top guys many times over.
A lot better than me, right? Challenge you on it. I agree with that. Listen,
I don't like it.
I think that every time that you put in a rule, you're also putting in an opportunity for somebody to push the rule to its limits,
of course,
and challenge it.
They're gonna.
So in my world, simplicity is the best. I mean, let's not put a whole bunch of rules in for the sake of putting them in. This particular rule, I don't like it at all. I don't like it under any circumstances, because let me tell you, only the most naive person on this planet would think that anybody fishing an elite or a top-level tournament has got blinders on and earplugs in for the whole season. It doesn't happen. Whether you're having a coffee with a buddy who knows a buddy who knows a buddy, or whether you're driving to that lake and somebody says, "Hey, you're Pete Bowman. How you doing? Hey, listen, you might want to go down in that corner because there's some great bass down there." If you're telling me,
I go like this.
Exactly.
Well, we've seen that. We actually saw, Ange and I saw that one time at a Garmin summit, and Chris Johnston was sitting at our table, and then there was somebody from the MLF, and they just started talking, and Chris just said, whoa, cut it off right now in front of the table, in front of all these pro anglers. He says, "I can't listen to any of this shit you're going to tell me." And so he literally just shut it right down. You know what I mean? So.
But it happens. It happens with frequency. It happens with it. But at the end of the day, if it's open to everybody, then it's fair game. I don't think now, if you're paying somebody for that information, that might be where you draw the line, right? If you have to pay somebody thousands of dollars to get his last year's honey hole that he happened to win a tournament on that body of water, and you pay him a few $1,000s for that information, I think that's probably breaking the rules and regulations of any event. But right, but just getting information from somebody, a buddy of yours who you're on the phone with, or you're at in this case where we were at this get together with a bunch
of the best,
a bunch of fishing dudes, and stuff started coming out on the table. I think that's fine. Yeah, I personally think it's fine.
Well, I think it's fine too, but like I said, you can't police it.
No, you can't. That's the problem.
And the thing is the part that you should be, where it should be basically not allowed, it is allowed. So that's why, to me, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like, it's almost a stupid rule. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
And then you're also opening up to petty jealousies. You're opening up to, maybe somebody's had an argument with somebody, and somebody says, "Oh yeah, well, I'm going to go tell them about that." You know what I mean? It takes it away from what it is. It's a fishing event, right? So, anyway,
you know what? It is what it is. But then you remember our good friend Todd Million, in full contact.
Monica, Spencer.
The thing is, a lot of things he said were true. In the sense of, it's white and black, and if you want to make it a professional sport, then you need to make these rules in place, and you got to cut them down. And what I'm trying to get at is, at the end of the day, I do respect the rules, but if the rules that they can't compete, and when there are rules that don't make sense, like we have rules, right? And our rules, I can tell you right now, before I'd ever go fish a tournament, I would read the rules, because I think that the rules will make and break you in being able to compete at a point where you feel like you got a chance at actually winning, or will it hold you back, and what your techniques are and what you want to do. So our rules are designed on things that over the years we felt needed to be addressed, and that's why they're in place. And if they can't be policed, then we try not to. Like even a simple thing like on a Friday night, where we used to always get off the water by 5 o'clock. That was our thing. Was it not? You had to be off the water by 5 o'clock before the event. Now we're half an hour before sunset, because, we feel that if somebody's going to go out there and cause havoc, when's the best time to do it? Nobody's out there, right? And you need to do it in that last night, in that last evening hour where, so we'd rather let everybody be underwater and see, so people know who are underwater. And at the end of the day, it stops the havoc. And I think it really has worked very well in the way we're doing, right? So if you can't police it, it's hard to enforce it. It's the way we look at it, right? So,
any thoughts on at some point deploying the use of drones to police some of the events?
Employing, or for anglers being able to use them?
Well, let's go there too, because that's going to happen. Let's go there too.
Yeah. Well, you know what, dude? Like, I don't know, like, when it comes down to it, looking for green weed, looking for pockets, looking for stuff, drones are going to be able to offer that, right? And, that's something that everything we look at is a lot of safety factors to see where things are, right? And I don't know if that becomes a safety factor. Like, we want guys to pay attention to the road. Like, so if you ask me what are some of our things that we got on our table right now, like I have a thing with screens, right? They don't sell yellow pages anymore. Right. So you can't sit on a yellow page to look above them. And that's where it becomes really difficult for guys. So that to me is stuff that we need to be addressing probably before we address forward imaging and other stuff, where we need to address things like the size of the screens and being able to see past your steering wheel. Right.
Yeah, we see that. We talked about that in the past, where you see some of these guys, you say, how in the hell?
Oh my God. A little guy like me? Holy shit.
How are you going to drive that boat?
Standing up to drive the boat.
Like, you can't tell me that your view's not obstructed.
Exactly.
I mean, it is crazy, right?
And that's the kind of stuff that I, as a director, as your organizer, like, we're always constantly looking at issues that could hurt people. So, like, the thing is, as the drones go, we that's part of it. But at the end of the day, it'll probably end up like, during the event and not can't be used, right? So that I can see happening, because it's not just you can now fly a drone over somebody else's area that he's fishing, right? Think about that.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not just that you're using it for yourself. Now it's another way of cheating, or another way of gathering information, because you can fly that drone right over another angler and say, oh, this is what he's fishing. Oh, there's rocks there. Oh, there's, there's sand there. Oh, there's nothing there. You know what I mean? So
never mind. He's flipping, or he's casting, or he's jigging, or he's, I mean, you could find out everything from a drone.
And that's what I'm saying. And then it'll only be a matter of time that those drones will be able to give you depths and give you everything else too, right? So, they can work it off. It could easily be done just by collating it to like a mapping system.
I keep a 10 gauge shotgun in my boat, and as soon as I saw one, gone, done.
But that's definitely stuff in the future that's going to become issues. We can't think that won't be. And like the kayak, if the guy would have had a full kayak tied, we talked about that. If he would have had a full kayak tied alongside of his boat and then jumped off his boat and then got onto the boat, I don't know. That'd be
he could probably circumvent the rules by doing that, right?
God.
So it is what it is. But we've added rules to every year. We kind of look at stuff where we have to, address to make sure that they don't get overworked, right? So
the size of boat becoming an issue, you think, in the near future?
You know what? I think it's starting to go the other way, to be honest with you. I'm thinking guys are starting to look at lower horsepower again. And because it's, I think if you are buying a boat, because the boat show is coming up and people that are, even our shows sell boats, all shows sell boats, and you're looking at buying that boat. I think nowadays people are going to buy boats relating to the water they're fishing, whether it's deep or big or small, and then the tackle and the type of fishing they're using. So if you're using big casting rods, you're a musky guy, then you're going to want bigger rod lockers, right? I really don't think you should underrate the boat you're going to buy. I think you should buy a boat that you can afford, a boat that will allow you to buy all the electronics you need to make yourself a better angler, and maybe buying that boat a little bit smaller that allows you to put that 7-8 foot rod in your locker. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
That's actually what makes sense from what you just said. If you do want to upgrade
everything else
on the technology end of it, then maybe cutting a foot or two off of that boat and 100 horses less, that's a lot of money, and maybe that's where you can move it. Good point.
When you think of the U.S. and Canadian stuff, like a lot of bass boats, like, if I'm looking at maybe buying a used bass boat and it's got a single console, I would 100% say that boat came out of the U.S. because in the U.S. they're buying boats no console, right? Yeah. Console. So removing that console and buying a boat in Canada, it's not because you're going to save $3,000 or $4,000, which is considerably money, but at the same time, it'll make that 19-foot boat fish like a 2021 because that console's not there. You have a lot more room. It may not run the water as nice, but then as a good boater, hopefully you're going to take a little bit more time in getting to where you need to go.
Good point. Right? Good point.
So it's just that's things like that are tricks that could help people save some money. And I tell guys all the time, don't overburden yourself where you got a cigarette and you can't afford a lighter for it. You know what I mean? Because that'll be the worst thing. It is, dude. Can you imagine walking out of
I
your
love it. I love that analogy.
you can't afford to insure, you can't afford to put gas in it, you can't afford to run it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the worst thing.
we're just talking about that. I was with a group of guys, very wealthy guys, by the way, the other night, and that conversation came up, and it was, how do you guys afford all that stuff?
Yeah.
These are wealthy guys looking at that, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Say, my cousin barely pays the mortgage on his young family's house, but boy, he's got that $250,000 boat in his garage. So how do you guys afford that stuff?
Really?
Yeah. So
Shit.
it has kind of gotten completely out of control, hasn't it? Because it's not just the boat and the motor. We just spent half an hour talking about the technology, the electronics forward-facing sonar, where you can put 20, 30 grand of that on any given boat. But you also have to tow that boat with a vehicle, which are not cheap anymore. And just everything in general is so expensive.
Yeah.
Like, how do your guys do it? And it's not like they're vying for, $150,000 payoff every weekend that would go a long way helping to pay those bills. But,
I really don't know. I'll be honest with you. Like, I sometimes wonder too.
Oh my God.
Like, I can tell you, like, going back to that, maybe buying those electronics, I think will better your fishing, right? I think that's something you should look at, right?
Yeah.
And, and balancing everything so that it kind of plays out and you're going to get out there and do some fishing.
True. So true.
Speaking of which, when was the last time you went out fishing just for the sake of fishing?
I did go out this year. I went out for bass a couple of times.
Oh, good.
Right? I get a chance to get out every once in a while. And I'm actually treated because I'll get a guy up on me, hey, look, I'm on some really good fish and you want to come out and have some fun? I'm like, yeah, okay. Or even after the tournament, yeah, no problem. And
Nice.
I have a good time. I really like my perch fishing, guys. Like, I love fishing.
Oh.
I haven't got a chance to fish crappie for a while. I've gone out for pike a couple times this year. I haven't muskie fished forever. Like, that's something that I think that I wouldn't mind. Maybe I got a couple of lakes that I used to fish back in the day that I would love to get out just to see how good they are.
Done.
Yeah, because people aren't like, I talk to muskie guys and they never talk about these lakes, and I'm like,
No.
crazy. Unless they're keeping it quiet, right? So, I don't know. It's
Well, it's nice. It's nice that you're still making the time and effort, because the reason I asked you that question is because most people think that when you get into the business, the fishing business, that's all you do is fish anymore, right? And that's whether you're a lodge owner, whether you're a tournament director, whether you're a TV show.
Exactly.
People just make this assumption that, oh my God, those guys, I want to do that because I just want to fish all day long like they do.
Yeah, I honestly got, I think, maybe 4 times this year.
What's your favorite species to go after if Andy Pallotta goes out fishing?
If I go out on the summertime, dude, I love my bass. I really do. I like shallow fishing. My forward imaging is my glasses, my eyes, So I love it because it's like target fishing, and then you get stumped, you get all that stuff, docks, and I love everything about that kind of fishing, right? So.
Right on.
Smallmouth guy yet. Not probably. I don't know if I ever will be, but I love my green fish, as most guys will tell you. So,
what's the biggest scoop you can give us before we let you go? I want a scoop of scoops that nobody else has even remotely had from you.
I don't know. What's a scoop? What do you consider a scoop?
A leading story, a big deal, something that's coming up, something like a big scoop. What is it? You're going to be a grandfather again. I mean, all those things.
That I hope happens many times over. I'm not going to lie, right? So, but you know what, dude? The scoops are just, I don't really have anything right now. Maybe if you ask me in a couple of months from now, and I start talking to M&R and stuff all over again, like we're battling a lot of different things, and I'm always on the M&R's butt. So like, there's a lot of stuff like that, but there's nothing other than really, it was a great year from what I understand from everybody other than the kayak guy in the States. Everybody else, Oh, it seems to be evolving. Everything's definitely evolving.
Good.
I just like the fact that we can continue to be and get old as friends together. Like that's the scariest part. Where nowadays it's harder and harder. But it's nice to see. We see that every year we have that the KC Cup where it's just getting longer and longer and longer on that end. So it's kind of like sad. Even to you, my condolences. It just doesn't end. It's natural. It's things that are going to happen. But you know what? The saddest thing that I can say is people that have waited their whole lives to retire to go fishing, and then it's the last thing they do.
Yeah.
Like that is the saddest thing that I'd say, because their expectations and what they want and what they expect, maybe just bring it down a bit of it. You know what I mean? Maybe it doesn't have to take over your bank account. Maybe you can do whatever you have to do, but get out there and enjoy it. Get out there and fish. It doesn't have to be a tournament. It can just be for fun.
I was going to say they can't. They're too busy figuring out how they're going to feed their tournament life, their tournament habit.
Well, that's another story. But like I said,
the old semi-pro at it again, eh?
Get out there and fish, Petey. We need you back, Petey. We need to see Pete the Meister out there.
Right on, brother.
All right, buddy.
You never know.
We will let you go. Thank you very much for sharing that stuff with us, and we forgive you for stiffing us the time before. So now we're going to clean the slate.
So Dean, we have Dean. Dean wasn't with us a second ago when we mentioned that. Now Dean's got the mic there. Dean, do you remember?
Did we get
Do you
stiffed?
remember anything about this?
I was reminded
stiffing?
of it the other day. It didn't come to memory, but I had heard about it.
Okay.
But we had to be reminded. So
That's because he's a busy man.
We
That's
do a lot
why.
of shows. We do a lot of shows.
Well, I do want to wish all your viewers a Merry Christmas, because it's not that far away.
Thank you, my
Thank
friend.
you, buddy.
And I'm sure they appreciate it. And you take care, my friend. We will talk to you very soon. Say hi to the family for us.
I will. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Good, everybody.
See you, buddy.
Andy Pallotta. He is the most influential tournament voice.
Tournament/derby/competition, fishing competition
In the
voice
country.
In the country.
There's no doubt about it.
Yep.
There have been many that have come into the business that come and go, but
Well, he has stuck around, hasn't he?
he has stuck around. He's like
just stayed
a
with it.
bad smell, like one of those, like that poignant. That just no reflection on Andy. But yeah, very and consistent,
Very dedicated, very dedicated.
When he gets something in his head, whether it's right or wrong, he will generally
works
see
at
it
it,
to fruition, which is a commendable trait to have.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Great guy.
Did he answer our question at all? Did we have anything that? No, because we wanted to talk to him about the forward facing.
Yeah, he talked about that.
He's kind of with us on that.
Yeah, he is.
So
And the sharing of the information. We got to, Dino, also, Dino, remember, we got to get, speaking of the cheating, blah, 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 that Randy Blaukat story, we got to get something on that for the news.
Yeah.
We have to bring that
sheet
up.
up for a future
Okay,
episode.
perfect.
I'd like to get
Because
him
this is a
on.
guy,
Maybe he'd come on.
This is a guy that coined LiveScope as a cheater box. This is a professional tournament guy that calls it the cheater box, and he's made so much bullshit about and now he just got caught infracting some rules, rule. So we need to talk
should
about that.
we try and because we kind of skirted around who we were talking about earlier on, should we try and get Scott Martin on the show to talk to us about
Yeah, I don't know what he's up to now.
his little indiscretion?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many. Yeah, it'd be good information. I don't know how many Canadians even know about that. What happened? It doesn't really matter, right?
It's just that at such a high level, like you can't get any higher level than he was.
It blew over pretty quick.
He still is, by the way. He hasn't lost any.
Nothing,
He's still the number one social, or what you call TV too, but the non-TV dudes, the YouTube and all that stuff. He's still the number one guy.
Probably helped him.
Yeah, it might have.
Probably helped him.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll reach out to him and
Yeah,
see.
you know him pretty good.
I'll see if
Pretty good.
See if he takes my calls. That's what I'll see. All right. On that note, we got to get out of here. Don't forget, it is getting awfully close to the point where if you put an order in for somebody for one of these lovely garments, that number one seller right there.
Yeah.
You need to do it ASAP, please. And not trying to make a sales pitch here, because I know I don't want to get into what happened last year, and people were putting in orders and we had to say, well, it's not going to get there. But well,
Do it now.
do it now.
Do it now.
Get her done. All right, that are it on behalf of the entire team. An
pretty small too, yeah.
abbreviated team. I almost talked
Cut
Joe
back.
into coming. I would have loved to have seen Joe fill in for Nick.
Yeah, Joe, we need Joe elsewhere right now. He's on a mission
Is that
right now.
smoking or he's in the bathroom?
No, Joe's our editor. Come on.
Oh, all right.
He's our online editor.
On behalf of the entire team, consisting of Dean Taylor only, and Peter Bowman and myself, thanks for joining us. We'll catch you soon. This episode of Outdoor Journal Radio is brought to you in part by the Invasive Species Centre, protecting Canada's land and water from invasive species. Freedom Cruise Canada, rent the boat, own the memories. JMB Cycle and Marine, your home for all things power sports, boats, and equipment. And Silver Wax, absolute care for everything you drive.